shines through the sun, the moon, the stars, and the earth. Now, y'all can go back to December 21st. December 21st was the Great Conjunction. It was known as the Great Conjunction when Saturn and Venus came close to each other where you couldn't really see them apart. All right, I saw it myself. We didn't have too much of a good vantage point here in California, but I was able to go out near Lakewood, up on the hill, and they had a giant telescope up there, and I was able to see it through the giant telescope. They had a guy up there that was letting people take turns seeing it. So I actually saw it for myself. But the Most High said these are going to be signs, and He said when you see these signs upon the earth, there's going to be distress of nations with perplexity. So what happened right after we saw that sign of Venus and Saturn lining up together? What happened? America was in distress. At the nation's capital, they was in perplexity, meaning confusion. And they was in distress to the point where they killed each other for control of the government. They took over. They bum rushed the Capitol building. So what? That was a sign. That was not a sign in vain. And like I said, if you go back to Good Morning America, on the first or second day that the riots in the Capitol happened on January 6th, the title of the news report said "Sign of the Times." And what's his name? Michael Strahan said, yes, these are some terrible times we're living in the earth, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But the caption on, you know how the news title has captions? The caption on the screen said "Sign of the Times." This is biblical stuff going on, y'all. All right, and the Most High said in Luke 21:25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. And the stars also represent the planets. All right, Saturn and Venus lined up. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the ring around Venus and Saturn, and they were like aligned close together. I saw it through the giant telescope. All right, California, didn't really have that good of a vantage point. I think the guy said the first night it was a better view, but some parts of the world had a better view than others. It was called the Great Conjunction, and that's not a coincidence. That's December 21st is the day that the sun is closest to the earth. All right, it's the winter solstice. All right, so all these things happen around that time. These are signs that the Most High put in the heavens. All right, on the so-called winter solstice, and when the sun is supposed to be closest to the earth. All right, and I think one of the shortest days of the year or something like that. All right, Oh, yeah. So, these are signs, though. These are all signs of the heavens. And what happened on the earth is distress of nations and perplexity, confusion. The sea and the waves roaring. The sea and the waves represents the nations. The roaring represents being in an uproar or tumult. All of that took place. All that took place 16 days later on January 16th. January 6th. Prophecy. Still during their Christmas season. Because around January 6th, they celebrate Three Kings Day. All right, which some cultures believe that's the day the three wise men came and gave gifts to Yahushua. All right, so it's still within that. See, that's why if you look some places, especially amongst Hispanic culture or Latin culture, you will still see Christmas decorations up, maybe all the way into the mid-January, because they celebrate Three Kings Day also. All right, so verse 26, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. And a lot of people looked at what happened in Washington, D.C. You can see the fear and concern in a reporter's eyes. You can see the fear and concern in the people's eyes. All right, what's happening to our country? The Most High is bringing chaos at the Capitol, civil unrest and war. It says, which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. The kingdoms, the governments, like Chief E from HOI Atlanta, they was bringing out on their live New Moon service earlier. There's a lot of overthrow and turmoil in different governments. They're just not talking about it. All over the earth. and mainly in America. And there's a lot else going on behind the scenes in America that they're not talking about. All right, so it says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. All right, they're going to see, all this is going to take place. These are all signs of what's supposed to happen before Yahushua makes his second coming. All right, so that's what it's talking about. 28, might as well read 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. All right, your salvation is coming soon. When you see these things, look up and lift up your heads, because your redemption, your salvation is coming nigh, is near. All right, Colossians 2, 16 and 17. All right, Colossians 2, 16 and 17. And it reads thus and so. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day. All right, so don't let, anyone judge you in keeping the feast days. How you keep them, as long as you keeping them. And this is a cut on what you was talking about, Rob, Judah. Brother say, oh, you can't keep them because we in captivity or no. Paul said, look, don't let a man judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. All right, meaning how you keep them, as long as you keeping them in the sincere spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. What do you really do on these days? Give praise to the Most High. That's what you do. You read the scriptures. If it's the Sabbath, you read scriptures, you pray to the Most High, you rest, abstain from work in your own pleasure, or you go out and teach the people, or you have a Sabbath class, or whatever the case may be, or you stay home, rest, meditate, maybe put on some videos, do things for the work, maybe work on some flyers or stuff like that, as long as you're doing righteous work for the work. You rest. The Sabbath is also a day of rest. There's nothing wrong with resting. You understand? And you give praise to the Most High. That's what you do. The new moons, you read about the new moon and praise the Most High for another month closer to the end of Babylon. All right? The feast days, you honor those feast days. You read about them, what they concern, what they consist of, and you pray to the Most High and enjoy those feast days. All right? Reading on, it says, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Yahushua. It's a shadow because what? It's not the real thing. It's a resemblance of it. But your shadow is still a reflection of you. So if it's a shadow of what's really going to happen, it's still a reflection of what we're going to really do in the kingdom. So we don't do it now. We don't even try to do it. We just say, oh, we ain't got to do it now. Just wait till the kingdom. No, the Lord said faith without works is dead.
Yeah, come.
All right, he said, I'll show you my faith by my works. I'll show you I believe in the Most High and I know he's real, by serving him. All right, so that's it on that. Lock, stock, 2 smoking barrels. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. All right, Ashar Kadash Sharap. Happy New Moon, 11th month. Hope y'all gained something. If y'all learned one thing tonight, then I've done my job in bringing forth this short lesson for the new moon. And chaos at the Capitol, civil war and unrest in America, in the nation's capital. All right, so more to come, Israel, more to come, because there's a lot of stuff coming out on this thing that happened at the Capitol, and we will be bringing that out, all the information. Shalom, Kwame Shalom, the water. They're even trying to link, like I was saying earlier, they're even trying to link that Nashville bombing on Christmas morning. They're even trying to link that in some way, somehow, with what happened down in D.C. on a whole domestic terrorism thing. All right, so, stay strong, stay in the fight, stay in these scriptures. The work gonna go on, the camps, the teaching, the classes, the edification, the deeper understanding, the more in-depth understanding is gonna continue on. All right, and Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right, so happy new moon, 11th month Israel. And as we celebrate, we see our enemies fall. We watch our enemies fall as we celebrate. That's the scripture I started out with, Sirach 25:7. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. All right, so we're going to close out in prayer and eat, drink, and be merry. Hold on. Imagine what